The Jealous Woman. Chapter 4. The House of Shame. 10 years had passed since Ada and her daughter Hannah left the house of Mr. Fowler. In that time, the world had changed. Hannah had grown into a graceful, confident woman. Her eyes were calm, like her mother's, but her steps were firm like a warrior. She wore her white coat with pride, Dr. Hannah Fowler, written boldly on her ID tag. Yes. She had made it. She became one of the youngest doctors at Victory Teaching Hospital, a respected hospital in the city. People greeted her wherever she went. She treated the rich and the poor with the same gentle hands. Her smile brought comfort. Her words brought healing. Every time she walked through the hospital hallway, nurses whispered, "That's the girl who came from nothing." And Ada now held her head high, knowing her child had become a star. But far away, in the big house of Mr. Fowler, things were falling apart. Eva, who once ruled like a queen, now sat with worries wrinkling her face. Her son, had become a stranger. He rarely called. When he did come home, he looked tired, angry, and secretive. His clothes were flashy, but his eyes were hollow. Still, Eva praised him. "My son is studying abroad," she would say. "He's too busy with law school to visit." She believed her own lies because they comforted her. Mr. Fowler, now older, had become quieter. The once proud man had lost most of his wealth. Some of his lands were sold. His cocoa farm was no longer doing well. He often sat on the veranda, staring into the distance. One late evening, just after the sun had hidden behind the hills, a knock came at the gate. It was not the soft knock of a visitor. It was fast. Loud. Desperate. Boom, boom, boom. Eva rushed to the gate and opened it. "Son," she gasped. Her son stood there, sweating, limping, and with fear in his eyes. Blood stained his shirt. His hands shook as he held onto the gate. "Mama, they're chasing me. The police. I did something bad." She pulled him inside and locked the gate. "What happened?" she asked, her voice trembling. Son fell to the floor and broke into tears. His words came out like broken pieces. "We robbed the house, they shot someone. I ran away. They know my name. They are coming." Eva screamed and covered her mouth. She began to pace, her hands shaking. "You said you were in law school," she cried. "I lied," Son said. "I never even passed my second year. I just collected money. I was ashamed." Eva collapsed onto the chair. Her head was spinning. The son she had praised, protected, and placed above all others, was now a wanted criminal. But the shock was not yet over. Mr. Fowler had heard everything from his room. He stood quietly behind the curtain, listening. And then, without warning, he collapsed. His head hit the floor with a loud thud. He had suffered a stroke. Son and Eva screamed. Neighbors rushed in. They called an ambulance. The hospital they arrived at was Victory Teaching Hospital. The same hospital where Dr. Hannah now worked. The nurses rushed Mr. Fowler to the emergency room. The doctors on call examined him. He was unconscious but breathing. His blood pressure was dangerously high. He needed immediate care. Minutes later, the main door opened, and in walked Hannah. White coat. Confident stride. Calm face. "Where's the patient?" she asked. The nurse handed her the file. As Hannah read the name, she froze. Her hand trembled. Her heart raced. "Fowler Addiconal," she whispered. She slowly walked into the room. There, on the hospital bed, hooked to machines and surrounded by wires, lay the man who had thrown her and her mother out like waste. She turned to the nurse and said, "Prepare for immediate treatment. I will handle this one myself." At that moment, Ada walked into the hospital too. She had brought her daughter some cooked yam and pepper stew. But she stopped when she saw a familiar face. It was Eva, sitting in the hospital corridor, crying into her wrapper. Eva looked up. Her eyes widened. "Ada," she said, confused. Ada looked at her, calm. "I heard someone was rushed in. Is it your husband?" Eva nodded slowly. Ada looked toward the emergency room and said gently, "My daughter is the doctor in charge." "What?" Eva whispered. Then, from the hallway, Hannah walked out, her face cold, her eyes heavy with emotion. She looked at Ada, then at Eva. "That man," Hannah began slowly, "is he my father?" Ada nodded. The silence that followed was louder than thunder. Tears ran down Hannah's face. She stepped back, shaking her head. "I was nothing to him all those years, and now, I am the one to save him." Her voice broke. She turned away, walked down the hallway, and leaned against the wall. Eva got up and walked toward Ada. "Please," she said in a broken voice. "Talk to your daughter. Tell her to help him. He is dying." Ada did not shout. She did not insult. She simply said, "You threw us out. You laughed while we suffered. You chose your son over our peace. And now, you want help." Eva knelt on the cold tile floor. "Please, forgive me. I didn't know." Anna returned. Her voice was calm again. "I will save his life," she said. "Because I am a doctor. Not because I am his daughter." And without another word, she walked back into the emergency room.